Hi guys, I wanted to post more thoughts on my Perpetual Turbine, because what I described to you with a cog and a multiple turbine system, you know, drive shaft, cog on the end of the turbines, cog on the end of the drive shaft to the motor, spinning multiple turbines. Obviously that creates net positive energy, but there is a way to make even more energy off that system. I'm going to explain it in a minute. First thing I'm going to talk about is my tag. So I told you I'm on police tag. Something I was going to say to anyone who goes on these tags, because I've only just recently gone on it, something you want to do that I didn't think of straight away was when you charge it, you want to use your power bank. They give you a little mobile power bank. So what you want to do is charge, they give you a charger for charging directly off a socket. I bet everyone who's been on one of these tags figured this out, but I didn't figure it out straight away. I was sitting at a socket with this thing on, and it's far better to just charge the power bank, charge the tag with the power bank. The reason being, and then once you finish charging the tag, just charge up the power bank. The reason is because you want to get up and walk around your house, don't you? You're mobile then. Whereas I was like sitting at the flipping socket by my computer, and then I'd get up and move my leg or something and the flipping charger would fall off, because obviously I was on a wire, whereas I'm charging mobile now. So I just thought anyone who's just got onto a tag, that might be helpful to you. Right, the Perpetual Turbine, how can we increase the power it generates? So rather than just having a cog there and then multiple turbines with cogs on the end so it spins multiple turbines, what we could have is one motor. Imagine a motor here with spinning shaft and then a drive shaft attached to it, and along that drive shaft, say it's a powerful motor, along that drive shaft, imagine the drive shaft's quite long, like in this room, yeah, along this drive shaft we have multiple cogs set along the drive shaft, yeah, multiple cogs. So when the motor spins, it spins all the cogs along that drive shaft. Now on each drive shaft you'd have a ring of turbines, a ring of turbines, a ring of turbines on each cog down the drive shaft, okay? You say, well, that's a lot for one motor to spin, a lot of turbines there to spin for one motor. You're right, and also if that motor fails, if that one motor fails, then the whole system fails, because then the shaft's not spinning. So what you could do then to improve that system further, to improve that power generation system further, is instead of just have one motor, have four. So have a motor, a motor, a motor, a motor, cog on the end of the 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 motor, and then a drive shaft, the main drive shaft, with a cog welded to it, right? So all four motors are spinning this middle cog for the main drive shaft, and then you have the main drive shaft, cog, with all turbines around it, cog, with all turbines around it, cog, with all turbines around it, cog, with all turbines around it. Just go down as far as it'll go. The benefit of that as well is if one of the motors fail, because motors will burn out eventually, if one of the motors fails, you've still got three motors running. One's failed, there's four there, but one's failed, but there's three that's still good. Now that's the same kind of concept as what they have on, say like a Boeing 727 or something. They'll have like four, I think it's four jet engines. If one goes down, there's still three that are good. So the plane doesn't crash, do you understand? Because you could have one of the jet engines fail. So the thing would still keep running, even though one of the motors has failed. And obviously, you know, whatever person would know that motor's failed, and they know to fix it. You know, they turn the power generation system off. That's a way of making the Perpetual Turbine. I think that's the way of making it. Like, say you wanted to fill this whole room with power, this whole room, that's the way of doing it. You'd have like rings of turbines, and then if you wanted more turbines on each ring, on each like sort of disc of turbines along the main drive shaft, you could then have more motors with cogs, and then more turbines are outside that. And then if you had a much bigger room, you know, higher, you know, massive room that's really high ceiling and stuff, then you know, you just keep building those rings. Do you understand? I'm obviously right. I've solved energy production. That's how you're supposed to do energy production. The perpetual turbine. That's how you're supposed to do it. It'll generate more energy than what's input into the motors that spin, or motor that spins the drive shaft. There's more output of energy than what's input. Imagine if there's one little motor there, one little small motor with a cog on the end, multiple turbines on it, right? Tiny input, well, small input, big output, net positive. Then, like I say, you've got a drive shaft, cog, turbines. You've got more power at the end, even more power at the end. And then, like I say, to make that system more reliable, you might have 4 motors, each with cogs, cog on the drive shaft to spin them. If one of the motors fails, or 2 of the motors fail, it doesn't matter, it'll still keep spinning, creating you energy. So that's more thoughts on the perpetual turbine. So hopefully you understand that and you can visualise that in your mind. I know it might be hard for you to believe. Dave Jenvey solved the energy crisis. Dave Jenvey, of all people, that rubbish mountain biker. And it's like, yeah, I have. And it's going to have me go down, it is going to have me go down in history as one of the greatest scientists / inventors of all time. My name's going to go down with people like Nikola Tesla and Michael Faraday and people like that. Hard to believe, I know. I think it's going to win me a Nobel Prize. I'm pretty sure it's going to, eventually. It's quite a big deal. I've worked on it for a year, the Perpetual Turbine. It is a big deal. So, I've cracked it. So it might be a shock to you, but yeah, that's all I've got to say on the Perpetual Turbine for the moment. Alright, see you later.